Wherever production to animal welfare, on behalf of Salutogenesis Committee, Department of Psychiatry and Engineering Hospital, we welcome you all for the second session of National Faculty Development Program on Wellbeing and Salutogenesis of University Students. We welcome our Dean Sir, Dr. Sukhdeep Sir, and our Vice Principal, Madam Dr. Padma, and also our FPP members and all the delegates. This is held in collaboration with James Kalyani West Bengal. In the last session, it was highlighted mainly on the importance of mental health of students, a brief introduction was given to salutogenesis, and also we provided information of how to help faculty to identify students who need mental health support. This session will be available online on SBB YouTube channel and is easily accessible for all. In today's session, we will have discussion on salutogenesis and academic performance among university students. Our first speaker will be Dr. Karthik, Assistant Professor, Department of Psychiatry, who will be talking about the research evidence of academic performance and salutogenesis. Sir has completed his MBBS from MNC Chennai and MD Psychiatry from Jigmore, and he is a topper in MD Professional Exam in Psychiatry. Currently working as Associate Professor in Department of Psychiatry in MGMCRA. He has also got Vigur Krishnamurthy Silver Jubilee Conference Award for scoring high marks in quiz in International Conference of Sleep Medicine and Research, which was held in 2017. He has also received Research Day Award for more number of publications. There is also chairperson panelist in various community mental health activities in Jitmar. He has given radio talks and TV interviews regarding mental health wellness. He is also a section editor of Indian Journal of Psychiatry. Sir has indexed journals of 50 publications and also has books of chapters for. May we please request Sir to come and continue the session. Is it audible properly?
Sir, audio is breaking, sir, not clear. Hello?
Yes.
Sir, audio is breaking, sir. Voice is not at all clear.
Okay, just 1 minute.
Okay.
Please let us know. That might be the time. Ma'am,
It's not audible.
Ma'am, my voice is breaking or the other. Hello, is it audible, ma'am?
No, ma'am. Audio is totally not good.
Hello, check. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Still not okay, ma'am. Maybe you have to switch over the mic. You can take over some other mic and just.
What about this voice? Just please hear it. We're trying to respond.
Hello.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Sir, am I audible, sir? I hope I should be audible. Speaking, Your Honor, ma'am.
Karthik, you're audible.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Can I start the?
Voice is clear?
Sir, your voice is also minimally clear. It is like muffled voice.
Sir, your voice is clear, sir. You can proceed.
Just share the screen. Yes.
Check, test, check. Karthik, I'm audible?
You're audible, sir.
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Okay, can you start, Karthik? Karthik, are you able to hear me? Karthik,
Sir,
sorry for the inconvenience. We have sorted it out. Hope participants, can you respond? Manimegalai, madam?
Sir, you are clearly audible, sir, now.
Okay, okay. I think we have
Sir,
sorted it out.
Thank you, sir.
And as you know, like after the overview of the last session, today we have one important session like salutogenesis and the academic performance in the student of the university. All of us know that what you can say, although not always true, academic performance is one of the key indicator of the mental health status of any students. Whenever any students they don't perform well, normally we think that they are not able to. The underlying reason may be different issues, but finally intervention started when somebody is not doing well in the academic performance. So today on this topic, we'll have two speakers. One is Dr. Karthik and followed by Dr. Monica. Yes, Karthik, you can start.
Thank you, sir. So a warm good afternoon for everyone who gathered over here, and also to the online delegates. At the outset, I should thank the organizing committee for giving me the opportunity to deliver one of the important topics related to salutogenesis, that is academic performance among university students. I'm here along with my fellow colleague, Ms. Monica, who is a clinical psychologist. We are going to deliver the session along this outline, namely academic challenges faced by university students, evidence on salutogenesis and its effects on academic performance of the students, and an overview of salutogenesis across university settings and what is being done in our university. I'll be covering the first two sections, followed by Ms. Monica, who will be covering the next two sections. To start with, literature reveals that there are common adversities or challenges faced by university students, and there are also some new gen or next gen challenges faced by students. Theoretical learning accompanied by a burdened curriculum or a huge hefty curriculum, frequent problem-based learning exercises, case-based learning exercises, and frequent and very stringent internal and external university examinations. So all these were commonly reported stressors as per university students' data. However, presence of a student research project, participating in organizing co-curricular activities, and organizing and conducting or part of being that community programs are also additional challenges faced by the students of this generation. And also there are some challenges which are posed during this COVID situation, especially online learning and online examinations, online practicals. There are all additional challenges which are faced by the students over these last few years. Apart from these constructs, which are already known to us through literature, students are known to deal with certain other parameters which usually is not measurable, like how they are interacting with their superiors and teachers, and how they are able to follow their instructions, and how they are not able to comply with some of their instructions, how they're able to deal with patients, caregivers, their requests, demands, their opposition, their emotions. These are all unmeasured parameters which they are able to deal with. Expectations of their own parents or of their own family, and expectations of self. Expectation of parents can be in terms of academics, achievements, goals, medals, or even professional achievements. Expectation of self can include academics and professional achievement, but also in terms of actualization, realization, how they come up in life as a career prospect. All these aspects are being encountered by students day in and day out. Also, they have to face the highs and lows of their personal and social life, which is often unpredictable. And given the context of the social life, even in the virtual world, they feel at immense pressure to deal with kind of issues. So when we look at the literature evidence on salutogenesis and its effects on academic performance, most studies are very humble, and they are focusing on only two parameters: a critical balance between their sense of coherence, which is a new term for me when I reviewed the literature, and their academic grades. So how their sense of coherence is linked with their academic grades is often the research question in various studies. So when we look at the literature, studies are formally assessed, and even they have gone to an extent of objectively assessing sense of coherence. So if you had listened to the previous session, sense of coherence is the core concept of salutogenesis. So it has three dimensions. Let's imagine like a triangle. So the first dimension is comprehensibility, second dimension is manageability, and the third one goes for meaningfulness. So if these three dimensions are in place and they are very coherently linked with each other, the sense of coherence increases. and hence the output also can increase. So to break it into simpler terms, these 3 dimensions deal with the first one, comprehensibility. I can understand and I can predict the things or changes or the resources, strengths and limitations within me and also outside me. So that is the first step the student undergoes. The second step is manageability. I can manage with these available resources, either within inside or outside. Finally, the student can come to a realization that it is really worthy enough to know about these resources and also to invest these resources, my time and energy, so that I gain something. So that is called as meaningfulness. So when Aaron sir discovered this concept of sense of coherence, comprehensibility and manageability were the first two. The meaningfulness part was added little later. So it is more important to understand why it is important. What were the outcome measures across these studies? So when I look at the literature, sense of coherence or salutogenesis effects on academic performance were very handful, very few I can tell, because academic performance can be linked to various other parameters of students, like the social upbringing, the interest, the presence of psychiatric mobility, or any other social cultural diversity. All these things will come into play. So they are very purposeful. But when they study the sense of coherence, they took their academic grades, that is reported by the student himself or herself as the outcome measure. So, has it improved or not? There are some other outcome measures such as self-regulation in learning, how much they are able to keep themselves occupied in learning and find new ways in learning, and how much they are able to accommodate and adapt for self-directed learning, readiness for self-directed learning. Since self-directed learning is a new and trusted concept.
Excuse me, sir, Karthik. Excuse me, voice is again breaking, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Since when, ma'am? No, or
No, breaking and sound is very muffled, not clear.
now is it okay, ma'am?
Again, you talk, keep talking.
No, it's still muffled, Dr. Karthik. It's still muffled.
சாவி எல்லாம் மாடியில இருக்கா? தண்ணி வச்சுக்க கிட்ட. தண்ணி.
How is the audio now? How is the audio?
No, sir, breaking, sir. Audio is breaking. And we have to mute others, sir. Others also speaking.
இப்ப வண்டி சாவி பெட்ல இருக்கும் பாரு.
How is the audio now, ma'am?
No, not audible.
Hello, check.
Hello, ma'am. Is it audible now?
It's audible, but breaking, I think.
Dr. Karthik, can I tell a suggestion? Might be your internet is not sufficient. If you off your video and just keep your audio, it might be better.
there is movement. What about now, ma'am?
Seems if you keep talking, you go.
How is it working now, ma'am?
Now it's okay, Karthik. Now it's okay. Good.
Okay, we will switch off the video and then proceed. Yeah, thank you. So to continue that, so one of the outcome measures were readiness for self-directed learning and also measures of stress and resilience. Measures of stress and resilience, they kept as a last outcome parameter because of course, there are various other confounders. So when we look at literature, there are two sources of one is the same, the other one is same. So then we have to see the various sources of influence of change. And coming to the self sources, first is like study. It's
No, Karthik, again
SOC.
breaking. It is breaking. Voice is breaking. Not clear.
Ma'am, my voice is audible, ma'am.
Batma, your voice is audible, Batma.
Okay, then I will ask him to shift to my place and let him present, ma'am. Please wait, audience, please. 2 minutes.
Okay. Slide. Sir, now my audio is clear, ma'am. Sir.
Yes,
Sir,
Dr.
you're
Karthik,
audible,
your
sir.
audio is clear.
Now clear, Karthik.
Yeah, we'll proceed. Sorry for the glitch. So to continue with that, various studies have taken various outcome measures and studies reported academic grades was the most common. And the measures of stress and resilience were the last preferred outcome measures. There are two sources of influence or change when it comes to how sense of coherence can translate into a better productivity in terms of academic performance. The first is self. Various studies have looked at the various self measures. A study which was conducted in Spain using nursing assistant students, they assessed the sense of coherence using sense of coherence 13-item instrument and their self-reported grades of academic performance. The study found that students from urban domicile, they fared better compared to the rural domicile. And students who took the courses or the program by their own self-made decisions had a high sense of coherence, and in turn, they also displayed a high scores in their academics. So having a control of self-made decisions and displaying a high sense of coherence eventually resulted in good academic performances. And the study also adds that strong sense of coherence can be associated with greater motivation to study and obtain good scores despite facing multiple difficulties. And these two factors shows that such group of students with high sense of coherence can display better resilience whenever they are encountering stress. I will have to mention another study which looked at the mediators of sense of coherence and academic performance. It is not a direct relationship between these two parameters. There can be some other mediators. So one study in Malaysia among dental students, it found out that the year-end exam scores was influenced by sense of coherence, but also it is associated with increased interest in self-directed learning. So that means the increased sense of coherence can eventually lead to an academic performance through a mediator called as an increased interest in self-directed learning. And this makes the students more compliant to achieve more goals in their academic career. Another study looked at other set of mediators in Spanish students of nursing assistant courses. A study found out that apart from sense of coherence, there is some other parameter called as appraisal of self-care agency can also improve academic performance. This term called as self-care agency is like self-care in psychological construct is defined as any activity which was promoted or initiated by the person to develop and maintain their mental and physical well-being. So any health promotional activity which we do will be called as a self-care activity, and the person who is doing will be called as a self-care agency. So when we are able to acknowledge what are the resources we are having when we conduct ourselves towards betterment of health, then we will call that we are appraised about our self-care agency. So this psychological factor also was important in improving the academic performance. So compared to other parameters, there is another study which looked at sense of coherence in a prospective way. So compared to the cross-sectional views, we want to know how it improved the academic performance over time. So among first-year nursing students, when we conducted this study on a prospective design, we found that the study authors have found that increased self-directed learning strategies have eventually led to better academic performance. And also it improved their successful adaptation and transition. That means that the students were able to cope up, adjust, and were able to progress in their academic career using a higher sense of coherence. And coming to the next source of change, that is environment. So most studies have looked at the self agency, where we have seen how sense of coherence is linked with appraisal of self-care agency and how their motivation is intimately linked to their academic performance. When it comes to environment, the changes are expected usually in terms of not only structural changes in the university, but also some pedagogical changes, which is expected. So when it comes to university changes, those universities which promote health and well-being in their students, not only physical but also mental well-being, they have shown better academic grades of their students in their exit examinations. Those universities which were sensitive to the cultural changes, social cultural changes, and also they were able to accommodate students across various cultures in a healthy way, they showed better academic grades. Those universities which promoted social cohesion rather than social isolation, they had showed better academic grades. This facet of social cohesion was the most commonly affected parameter during the COVID time. And those universities which had allocated sufficient time and space for leisure and recreation for students, they also had reported a better academic improvement in their students. Those universities which can impart education in a different way, in incorporating principles of meaningful learning and protected or a healthy social cultural environment between the teacher and the students, and a curriculum which is proper, that means like a balanced curriculum. All these factors, if they are factoring in, then those universities have shown good academic performances. Such a finding is not from a single study, and this finding is taken from a systematic review of studies which have looked at salutogenesis in teaching and learning, not only in academic institutions of university students, but also in school-going students. Though this slide cannot be entirely generalizable to university setting, we can take some important points from this systematic review. So there are some other parameters, high health awareness, a good regard for nutrition, which is imparted as a part of a curriculum towards the students, presence of social support, immediate psychological support if we are providing, and if you are taking away the feeling of isolation, all these things can be part of the university curriculum, which tends to show that academic performance can be improved with Salutogenesis program. The another parameter was like the student feeling satisfied with the geopolitical situation. Now, this cannot be entirely in the control of the university, but this is a factor which calls for not only a university level of change, but also at a grand level of societal level of change. There are some more recommendations when it comes to how Salutogenesis improves academic performance and how universities can play a role. Universities need to provide opportunities to strengthen the stress coping mechanisms of each and every individual student, providing we factor everything into concern: social demographic characteristics, social cultural characteristics, and various others. Universities have to conduct regular emotion management awareness training programs, and universities need to promote social integration for students and teachers at campus, and in a way it can improve the supportive learning environment in the campuses. For example, not only having a direct face-to-face interaction and online interaction through e-portfolios can actually promote the social integration of the students and teachers, not only for academics but also for other curricular activities and postings and various other achievements can be discussed. Not only achievements but also their hardships and failures can be discussed over the portfolio. And promoting healthy behaviors right from the start of the course, that is from the first year to the end, have actually shown that university academic performances have improved over time. So thank you for your patient listening, and I will continue the session along with Ms. Monica about overview of Salutogenesis in university settings and what is being done in here so as to get a real picture. Thank you for your patience. I also now we would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Subhash Chandra Parija, to address the gathering about our FDP. I welcome sir.
Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, dear participants for this faculty development program on well-being and salutogenesis of university students. At the outset, I congratulate for organizing such an interesting program being organized by the Student Salutogenesis Committee and the Department of Psychiatry, Mahatma Gandhi Medical College and Research Institute, and Department of Psychiatry, All India Institute of Medical Science, Kalyani, West Bengal. This program has an interesting set of activities, and the main objectives of this program is to provide an in-depth understanding of various factors that contribute to stress in the life of undergraduate and postgraduate students. Hence, in that context, to facilitate the acquisition of skill pertaining to early detection of impaired health, coping difficulties, psychological distress, warning signs, and substance use problems among the students. However, with all these components in the background, this development program will definitely try to provide an overview of mentoring strategies that the faculties can use to help their students. This concept of salutogenesis and being implemented for the benefit of the student is a laudable achievement that is being done by MGM-CRI in collaboration with the AIMS Kalyani. I wish all the success and all the best for successful participation in these faculty programs. I am confident everybody will become more knowledgeable and wiser after the end of this program. Thank you. Thank you very much for your patience hearing.
Thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you, sir. Now we'll move on for the next speaker. Our next speaker will be Ms. Monica Jasmine. She is clinical psychologist in the Department of Psychiatry, MGM-CRI. She has completed her postgraduate from Bharatiya University, Coimbatore. She has done MPhil in clinical psychology from SRM Medical College and Research Institute. She is a registered RCI professional. She has been a resource person in various community mental health activities in Coimbatore. She has also given multiple TV interviews and talk regarding exam stress, domestic violence, and importance of sleep. Ma'am is also actively involved in students' mental health of SBV, university students, and she's a member secretary of Student Salutogenesis Committee. She'll be talking on salutogenesis and impact of salutogenesis approach in higher institutions. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay.
So, good afternoon, everyone present here. Thank you, Ms. Pooja. So, before going into the topic, I'll just start with the phrase, we live in a pathology-centric world, meaning like more than 8,000 factors that cause disease have been discovered by medical science. Meanwhile, the growing burden of chronic illness has overwhelmed our medical systems. This may be due to physical or cultural environment that have fueled this burden of this disease. So this developed the term called pathogenesis, which is called origin or cause of the disease. So we all talk about the cause of the disease and how to prevent the disease, but not about the origin or the promotion of the health. So let's talk about it. Let's learn what is salutogenesis and how it is like why do we need to use the salutogenic approach and roles or actions that needs to be taken to follow the salutogenic approach. So first, what is salutogenesis? Salutogenesis, sorry. Okay. So Aaron Atonowski, he's the, like we can say he's the father who coined the term salutogenesis by combining two Greek and Latin terms like salus, which is health, and Greek, that is genesis, that is origin. He coined this term in his book named Health, Stress and Coping in the year 1979. It is an approach to human health which enhances the promotion and maintenance of physical and mental well-being rather than the disease. He emphasizes that like on the coping mechanisms of the individuals which help preserve health despite stressful conditions. So he wondered how certain people are more resilient as they face stressors of day-to-day activities, like daily life, as in the day-to-day stressors that we face, like waking up in the morning, going for work, even going in a timely thing is a stressful situation. Like, so he wondered that how these day-to-day how most people are very resilient to face these stressors and not the other, for example, exam stress. Like not all will be facing the exams similarly, right? Everyone will be having so many physiological disturbances, or some will face the exam casually. So why they are having these types of behaviors and not in the day-to-day activities? So as the name says, like as the phrase says, we as humans have the innate capacity to move towards the health in the face of hardship. So why do we need to use salutogenic approach? Before talking about this, I'll just talk about the pathogenesis and saltogenesis. So pathogenesis, as I told before, this is the starting point of the disease. The starting point will be the disease or the problem. Only if we face any physiological disturbance or disease, we'll enter into the pathogenesis, where we try to prevent the disease, try to prevent the problems that we are facing. But saltogenesis does not have any starting point. It's like we are creating how to promote health, or we look as Aaron Atonowski says. He usually says like saltogenesis is pessimistic. Like we'll always look after the problems that we are going to face, and we'll try to promote health based on that. So pathogenesis is nothing but avoiding problems. But saltogenesis is like will approach the potential problems and will create health according to it. And pathogenesis is nothing but we react to the disease, and we react to the disease by treating it. But saltogenesis is nothing but it's very proactive, like, and we generate better health. So pathogenesis is nothing but the humans, according to pathogenesis, it says the humans are inherently healthy. We are healthy and we are inherently healthy and naturally healthy. But cytogenesis, like we are inherently flawed, we are vulnerable to diseases. So we should always go and get health. We should always acquire health. So we should be very pessimistic. And pathogenesis is nothing but like we are against pain or loss. But when we focus on saltogenesis, we gain health and growth. So according to pathogenesis, like it prepares one to live. But when we see this approach, like we discover how to live fully. So pathogenesis, like it's not about falling back. For example, if we are having fever, we'll be taking preventive measures and precautions so that we won't get the severe attack on that. So, but salutogenesis is like how to move forward to it. So pathogenesis is nothing but like avoid getting worse, and salutogenesis will be like it has the continual improvement throughout the lifetime. So for pathogenesis, we'll be having ending point. Once we are getting neutral, or once we are away from once we are okay from the problem, then we'll stop it. But in salutogenesis, there is a progress point. We'll always seek for healthy environments. So pathogenesis, like we'll try to minimize the problem, and salutogenesis will be like we'll try to optimize the problem. Say to simplify it, I can say like with the verse, when someone asked Mother Teresa will you be up against the war? She said, no, I won't. I will move forward towards the peace. So it's like just as salutogenesis, we should move forward towards the health and not the disease. So how to use these concepts? In pathogenesis, it's a short term, as I said before, but salutogenesis will be like it's for life or long term. So it's acute care for the short term, but salutogenesis will be a chronic term. Pathogenesis, like we'll use this to eliminate bad things, but in salutogenesis, we use to generate good. So the study of this salutogenesis offers us a balance in the pathology-centric world. So in this world, if we study about salutogenesis, if we know what is salutogenesis, if we know how to use the salutogenesis approach, then it will become a balance to this world. So then we'll go to a topic like applying salutogenesis in higher education. Before that, universities are important organizations for health promotion, and not only as contexts and vehicles for enhancing well-being, but also as partners in multi-sectoral health improvement and as contributors to citizenship development and societal change. So the general role for higher education in the societies, that is like universities are the communities of learning and personal development. Universities are the sources of expertise and vocational identity. Universities are the creators and the testbeds for the evaluation and application of new knowledge. So university is the bedrock of the whole society. So it is the important, universities are the important contributors to the society and the societal change. So by promoting health in this university, initially, while we are in the university, we used to have all the interventions, like we used to implement how to reduce alcohol, how to reduce the anti-ragging thing, and how to enhance the health, and how to reduce this negative coping strategies like drug use, alcohol, and how to enhance mental health. So in order to implement this, there are so many approaches, which is one we have initiated it, like health promoting university approach. That is like the basic common factor is like health is created and lived by people within the setting of their everyday life, where they learn, work, play, and love. So according to Atanovsky, he focuses on health maintenance with various processes, where we focus on well-being and resilience, and to embrace a more strategic and comprehensive whole university approach that embraces students, employees, and the wider community. So here, if we follow this whole university approach, like whole mental health approach, salutogenic approach, we can create a healthy, supportive, and sustainable learning, working, and living environments for students and staffs and visitors. And also we can increase the profile of health sustainability in the university's core business, its learning, research, and knowledge and exchange. With this approach, we can connect with people and contribute to the health, well-being, and sustainability of the wider community. So, salutogenic approach in our SBB. What we do is like we follow Aaron Atanovsky's method by using these two, this well-being and resilience. So initially, when the students come, when the first year MBBS students are all the SBB students, like dental college and nursing, when they come initially, we used to have a screening program. In the screening program, we'll talk about the mental health and well-being, like why mental health is very much important, and how the well-being is very important. And then we'll be having a screening process where we'll be using general well-being skill and resilience skill. General well-being is nothing but the current current well-being, how they are. And the resilience is nothing but the coping mechanisms that we use to bounce back to normal situations. So we'll identify the students in need of psychological support with those skills, and we'll try to give early interventions and support for the students. So thank you. If you have any doubts, you can ask.
Hello, is it audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Bimal and Dr. Monica, for this talk. Although the topic is related to students' academic performance, salutogenesis and academic performance in university, I think it can be generalized to college, right? In fact, as the Dr. Karthik told, that it has to be started with school itself, right? So related to that, so do you have any participants now? The forum is open for discussion. I think Dr. Bimal, are you looking at the chat box? We'll see any questions are there in the chat box. I think Bimal has requested.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible.
Sir, we'll be sharing a case vignette in the chat box, sir. So
okay,
the participants can go through the case vignettes, and
okay,
after 5 minutes we can have a discussion, sir. Let them go
okay.
through the case vignettes. sir.
So the participants, please look into your chat box. A case vignette will be shared in that chat box. Please go through that one, and then we can come back within 5 minutes. Bimal, you have already shared?
I'm sharing now, sir.
Okay. Besides that, also participants, if you have any doubts, any questions, please put it in the chat box also. Because as you know, we want to make it more interactive rather than a lecture, one-sided lecture. We can make it more interactive. So that's what you can say. We are sharing a vignette. Besides that, as you know, like I know, like as a teacher, we have faced the students in different phases. You also might have come across with certain situations, right? Peculiar situation out of the normal ways, and you have faced it, you have solved it, and that also we want to share for these participants, for everybody's knowledge. So that, because as you know, the aim of FDP is not only from our side, it's a sharing of the knowledge. So participants are free to share their knowledge and all these things. Yeah, I think case has been posted. Please go through that one.
Participants, you can go through the case vignette. We'll be discussing about the case vignette now. So Ms. X, 18 years old, hailing from a city in North India, has been brought to the Department of Psychiatry of a medical college in Pondicherry by the student counselor a few days ago after joining the MBBS course in the same institution. She is reported to be looking dull and withdrawn and often in tears. She is neither sleeping nor eating optimally. She is refusing to attend classes. Sometimes she expresses a lack of desire to live. The institution has requested that the parents interact with their daughter and the admin, and participate in solving the problem. The admin also suggests that, if required, the parents can take the daughter home for a few days. In a private interaction with the designated faculty, Ms. X expresses that everything has moved too fast and that she is not ready for college yet. She says that she has been rushed into taking a very quick decision. She is not sure if MBBS is the right career option for her. Her parents feel that she need not come home and that she will eventually settle down if given some time. In addition, they say that they will be unable to come to the college in person. If she has to travel home, they will send an escort to accompany her. So please analyze and discuss this situation. And please give your opinions regarding what has gone wrong and what strategies can be adopted to solve this problem and help Ms. X.
Please go through that vignette. Vimal, can you scroll down the chart? Vimal,
Am I audible, sir?
yeah, you are audible. I think the whole case scenario is not visible completely. Can you scroll up a little bit the chat box?
Sir, the second part of the message, I think, was posted once again, sir.
Okay.
As two parts, part 1, part 2.
Okay.
Initially, only half of the message appeared, but now I think the whole thing has come.
Since the
Is it
chat box
visible,
does
sir?
not accommodate the whole message, sir. That's it.
Yes, sir, visible, sir.
Can somebody wants to comment on this? Can I request participants to mute themselves? Dr. Ahalya. Dr. Ahalya, please mute, I think.
அப்பா ரொம்ப நம்பிக்கையா சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. நிச்சயமா உனக்கு ஜாமீன்
Mute yourself.
கடவுள் கட்டுப்படியா நான் நம்புறது அப்பா அவரு பக்கத்துல இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் உனக்கு எதுவும் ஆகுது. நீ கவனிப்போ அம்மா கோயில் போயிட்டு விபூதிச்சுக்கோ.
Meena ma'am, can you mute yourself?
Sir, can I tell, sir?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I feel the student's wish has to be taken care of and she has to be given time to think of and discuss with her close associates who she can take into confidence and discuss what she wants to do, and it has to be given priority, sir.
We lost your voice.
Sir, are we audible, sir? Dean, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay.
Dr. Sarla Devi, ma'am, has responded that student choice was not respected and lack of time and lack of available information on the details of course is evident.
Vimal?
Yes, sir. Dr. Sarla Devi, madam, has responded to this. She mentioned like student choice was not respected and lack of time, and has also the student has lack of available information on the details of course is evident in this case witness. She texted in the chat box.
Manimegale, ma'am?
Sir, can I just add on one point, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Just a request to the participants, apart from identifying the problem, please also try to suggest what can be done. What are the options available?
Yes, Meena ma'am has raised her hand. Yes, ma'am, you can speak.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think I would also go with Manimekalai ma'am. The first choice would be the girl's interest, but we can take it a step further, find out what is the basis that she is pushed into this scenario where she doesn't want, she's not decisive of what she wants yet. So maybe we can find out what is causing that confusion and conflict within and try to resolve that so that she gets clarity and she's able to move forward. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, I just want to respond to your one. Sometimes, as you know, like students are really indecisive till end, right? And at that time, as you know, parents has to step into it and take a decision. So
Yes, sir.
in that way, as you know, the parents sometimes take a decision what they want to do, and they go ahead with that one. But after getting admissions and all these things, students say no, this
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
is not suiting me. So do you now? Is it
Yes,
okay?
sir. Now, yes.
Yeah, what I wanted to tell you, sometimes still that students are indecisive till the 12th hour, and parents has to take a decision on behalf of students. But
Yes, sir.
sometimes again that decision is not acceptable by the student. So students are not able to take a decision, and the decision taken by the parents is also not acceptable by the students. So
Yes.
where we go, like what should be the what should we do during that time? You can think of from student perspective and parents perspective. Both you can think of, either one or both, what they should do.
So parent perspective, I would say that parent always wants the best for the child, and they think they have decided for the child's sake, and they think this what they have decided is very good, and the option, like getting a seat in a medical college is a big that itself is a big blessing for a parent. So one tension less is what they feel. But the child, because of the, like maybe they are not able to take up the burden of the studies, and still if they are not really interested, if we can force them, I don't know how they will react to that. And we are hearing about a lot of the, the negative trend that is happening, suicidal tendencies and depression and all that. So I this is a big conflict, sir.
Yes, I do agree that one, like what you can say, this is one of the important issues where students, parents, they get stuck to proceed further. Because Dr. Siva, you wanted to share something?
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
Sir, one aspect that we wanted the participants to look into was the institution has put in some effort to engage with the parents, but that doesn't seem to have worked out in this case. They wanted to engage with the parents, but parents are not able to come over, and they feel they're not in agreement with the approach of the institution. They feel just leave her alone, she'll settle down, give her some time. So there is a conflict between what the admin says and what the parents want. So can the participants think about that also? What do you do in such a situation? Because this is a real case scenario which we see played out quite often. It's not an isolated case. This happens quite often.
Yeah, we are looking at the chat box. Anybody else want to comment?
And apart from dealing with the parents and how to engage them, what other preemptive steps can be taken? Maybe at a top level, at a higher level, at the admission process level itself. At the systemic level, maybe you and me can't implement it right away, but with the right policy and with the governmental support and, higher level support, what else ideally can be done to prevent these things from happening in the first place? Because now we are dealing with it after the crisis has happened now. But can something be done before? That is the second point I wanted to raise. The first one was about engaging the parents who don't seem to be on the same page as us.
Yeah, now any participants?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yes.
yeah, can you hear me? Can I
Yeah,
go?
we can hear you.
Yeah, this is Josephine, Student Welfare Officer.
Yes.
In this case, sir, there are a lot of points to be considered. One is from the parent side, we should agree they should have discussed more with the child. But from the student's point of view, this didn't happen overnight, just coming from North India to here. So they have had a lot of time also to realize, and she would have taken the NEET exam and so many things would have happened. So if she says that everything has moved too fast, but she didn't say that I don't like medicine. Maybe the place, this is a culture shock for her, for an 18-year-old. And even something like homesickness can raise a lot of depression. So for her, the old city, the environment is new, the food is new, the people are different, everything is different. So she's like a fish out of water. So if we can motivate her to believe in herself that she can do. Now she has lost all hope that she can even succeed in whatever she's doing. So what we can do is from the parent side, the cooperation is very, very necessary. We had a similar situation nearly 3 or 4 years back when a student from Chennai, he wanted to just go back to Chennai. But the parents, when we spoke to the parents and found out a lot of reasons behind is wanting to go. And then the parents took the initiative to settle down in Pondicherry for some time. The father changed his job to Kadalur, and the mother came and took a house here and stayed with him for some time until he got settled in the course. That was the one thing the parents were very cooperative with, and now he is a very good student. He has, coped up with everything. So the thing is, speaking to this student, we should take her point of view also, and her mental balance is to be really under consideration. We should, but still, the parents should also take the initiative to be with the child, to motivate her, and at least for some time they should keep in touch with her and cooperative with whatever she wants to do at this point in time, so that she will just move into the groove slowly but surely. So that's my point, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Vimal, there are some responses in the chat box. If you could read them out also.
So I'll read, sir. Dr. Jaffrin suggested pre-admission counseling may help, and clarification as to what the students will go through in the course can be discussed. And Professor A. Mahalakshmi suggested that the student counseling to be done immediately once it has been identified. We need to have conversation with the parents, identify what was our choice before getting into MBBS. Then both parents and the daughter need to have a conversation to get into final decision. 2 options. This will be better instead of making her to suffer more. Maybe conversation and communication at this stage may relieve her burden. They can have some diversional therapy or counseling sessions to motivate them to get along with the course again. And periodic monitoring will motivate them. So okay.
Vimal, one more response is there.
Can the sense of coherence be checked much prior? Sense of coherence of student.
Yeah, I think all of us will agree that I'll start with Dr. Jaffrin's response. Yes, pre-admission counseling helps, and conversations with the parents before they take a decision. All these things should have been done. Like what you can say, these we could have what Dr. Prakash wanted to know, what could have been done before, what can be done now, and what can be done to prevent this situation by the administrative.
Your voice is not audible.
Now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 3 things I just wanted to tell you. One is how to prevent this situation at the last 12th hour. That means after admission. Second thing is after taking admission, how we can prevent it. That one. And second thing, like what you can say as an administrator level or policy decision at the government level, what can be done. I think all of you agree, like in the chat box also, like everybody feels that sense of coherence need to be checked prior. Yes, definitely, like comprehensibility, manageability, and finally it comes to that activity like realization or the understanding. Right. So when it should start, I just ask Dr. Saleh, when you feel as early as when we can start that one, ma'am. What is your opinion on that one? Because nowadays, now if you look back to the present scenario, that 10th and 12th, by I say 12th, they have to choose a stream, either because almost all the class 12th schools, those are offering 12th, like almost everybody is focused either on medical or on engineering, and they have to choose the stream according to that one. Hardly very few people choose other than these two. Like when you feel the sense of coherence should be checked. Is it 10th or much before, or before taking the stream? Forget about the joining into the professional courses. Before 10th, like when they have to take a decision on any stream. What is your opinion on that one? Sarlaman, you can respond into the chat box, or you can, yes, 10th and after that, okay. To certain extent, what anybody else? Do you agree that Sarla ma'am has told that 10th because sense of coherence is what students need to realize. Basically, it depends a lot on the student rather than anybody else, because student has to realize what she is going to do what she is going to take and all these things. And to certain extent, as you know, like parents, that's what you can say. I'll just tell Siya Prakash that what you can say, our system is something not appropriate for this type of students take any I would say, if you compare the Western system, in even after joining a professional course, there is an option. If they like, they can opt out. If they want to continue, if they like it, sorry, if they don't like, they can opt out, and if they like, they can continue. So there is a exit option after 2 years of undergoing entering into the professional course. And in fact the entry level into the professional course itself is little bit delayed. Normally what you can say, like normally we think that 18 years they are quite mature enough to take a decision. But yes, majority of the students, they go by the decision of their parents, even they like or don't like, they accept it and they join into the course, and then they try to adjust to it. Those who can adjust, they do well. Those who cannot adjust, again that academic performance goes down, and again we need to do that one. So you think, as you know, like before that one, as Dr. Karthik mentioned, definitely sense of coherence need to be checked well ahead. Let's now as you know, we think that age of maturity is increasing gradually day by day. We think decreasing. I mean to say, they are quite fast to accept the new technology and all these things, but at the same time, we feel they are not mature enough to take a decision of their own. All the time, majority of the time they depends upon the parents' decision, and when it goes wrong, parents, they think that they who made mistakes, and after entering into it, we don't have any option. Because if I take the example of medical profession, I think it is there in all the profession. After joining, if you are leaving the course, you have to pay the 5 years or the whatever total duration of the course fee you have to pay. So that's a huge burden. So even after admission, even if students don't want or not willing to continue, yes, there is a parental compulsion. Somehow you have to complete the course, having joined, having paid so much, and that is additional things. As of now, there is no government policy for that type of students. Suppose they want to discontinue in between the profession, and that policy, I don't know. It may take long time. With a hope that the new educational policy come up. Yeah, once it is implemented, maybe some scope may be there, where at least now, even suppose some student after joining in one medical college, there is no option of shifting to other medical colleges to make them comfortable, to make them home, to avoid that type what Dr. Josephine madam was talking about, the adjusting to the environment, cultural shock and all these things, to avoid, to address those type of issues. We don't have a policy at present in system. So it's a yes, everybody agrees that what you can say, salutogenesis is important, but whether our system uh, is ready to accept and implement. So that is the questions. Yes, something is there. Bimal?
Yes, sir.
Something is there in the chat box.
And then Dr. Sarla Dev itself posted like the school can provide a guide, the various career options available. And Ms. Monica Jasmine has suggested that the students can attend guidance counseling session after 12th standard, which may be helpful for them. And Dr. Jaffrin suggested that one more thing, she strongly felt that the student, when joining the course, should have a mandatory mental health assessment at the beginning itself, as the demands of MBBS is very high. This should be mandated by NMC. I feel this can reduce suicides and other issues like substance abuse to a great extent.
Dr. Jaffrin, do you think that this mental screening should be done after joining or before joining? I mean to say, like, if I combine Monica's comment and your comment, like, when you feel that is ideal time to do this mental health assessment?
Good afternoon, sir. This is Dr.
Yes.
Jaffrin. I'm
Yes.
working in IGMC,
Okay.
Indira Gandhi Medical College,
Yes.
as a professor of pharmacology. I'm part of the mentorship committee also. I'm coordinating the mentorship committee here.
Yes.
We come across a lot of people like this, students like this, who are struggling after joining the course.
Yes.
So this should be done at an earlier date itself, before they join. There is a assessment, but that does not happen properly. They just go to all departments, get a signature and join. That is how it happens. The health checkup, a proper mental health assessment is very, very important. I have been thinking about that for quite some time, but I don't know whether it will be implemented or it will be done. I don't know whether your college or any college does that. I'm not sure about that. So before joining only, it is the best time to do. So we have an idea, and we know the trajectory, how he is going to behave in the next 5 years. If there is something wrong, whether he has suicidal tendencies, so that all will get picked up earlier itself. Whether he is prone to depression. So they can receive special care from the beginning itself.
Yes, I'll agree with you, Dr. Jaffrin, that, and in fact, what Monica has already mentioned, that basically, as you know, two things is very important. One is career counseling. At the same time, many times, as you know, like nowadays, students, I don't know whether it's a medical or engineering, the stress of the profession is everywhere now. It is in all profession, it is there. So
Yes,
without knowing the stress of that particular profession, they join. And in fact, after joining only, they feel okay where I am, right? So that's what you can say. Basically, that is what is we are lacking in the system itself. And in fact, if you say that psychological counseling, it's like what you can say. It is seen in our system as a taboo. Why we should undergo psychological counseling before?
Yes, sir.
Right? So that is also what you can say. Basically,
When we very true, rightly said, sir. When we pick up students like that, they are not willing to go to our psychiatry department. We refer them to other medical colleges so that it is anonymous. It is not seen outside like that. So we do that.
Yeah.
One more thing, there is a foundation course in first year, sir. Maybe stress coping mechanisms and all. There could be a small introduction. So 1 month foundation course. That foundation course, this can be a part. So they are better equipped to face stress as and when they are face it.
You mean to say only on mental health stress, coping up of the stress for 1 month?
I feel this is more important, sir. Yeah, it is not only, we don't have any other times, no, sir. Like second year has become 1 year now. 1.5 has been condensed to 1 year. Where do we have the time, sir? It's very difficult. Maybe if motivated faculty, they pick up people, they can spend time out of the regular hours.
Correct.
That could be a possibility. Yeah.
Bimal, one more question is there from Dr. Anand. Whether the student's intention of joining the course can be sorted out. Dr. Anand, can you unmute or can you explain a little bit more detail? One more comment is there. Hope I am audible.
So, am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So
Vinod?
to address to the Dr. Jaffrin, sir, and one more thing, like we are doing the mental health screening here actually in our institute. So as already Ms. Monica has addressed in the forum.
Okay.
And to add on to that, we not only like the MBBS students has a difficulty in joining the courses, also in other professional goals, or whether art and science or engineering. So everywhere the same issues are happening. So once the students completed their +2, while joining the college, either UG or PG, so the problems arise everywhere, sir. So they have a refusal to go to the college is significant among the nowadays, especially the UG students.
Do you think, Dr. Jaffrin, do you think that suppose the joining of the professional courses will be delayed? Do you think they will become more mature, or they will get a little bit, what you can say, time to think over and all? Because as you know, the way the system in our year, what you can say, 2-3 months after 12th class, I think immediately they have to write for the, it's a compulsion, out of compulsion, they have to write for the NEET, they have to write for the GE, and they really struggle to take a decision. Suppose somebody gets medical, now a lot of confusion goes on till end, right? So there is never ending stress. So I don't know, this is a policy decision.
That will help, sir, but practically how much it is possible, I'm not very sure.
Yeah, that's right. Because if you see that is what, if you see that the difference between our system and the Western system, a lot of emphasis is given on the mental health system. A lot of freedom, means taking self decision is given in the Western side. Whereas here, if you see, like, although we say the student centric approach and all these things, but finally it comes as a parent centric approach to the student.
Yes, sir.
Right. So.
And mental health assumes more significance for us, sir, because the community is at the hands of the doctor after they complete. So that is very vital, no, sir?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So just to add to Dr. Jaffrin's point, he said, at the initial stage itself, it is better. So I also feel that at the initial stages itself, like after they join the MBBS in the first year itself, I think the students, it would be better if the students are screened for any issues as such. It is true that during the, sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
So it is true that during the foundation course, sir, a lot of modules are planned and we talk about time management, stress management, everything. But how much really the student grasps and takes in and applies to it is really questionable, sir. Because I'm also from the Department of Pharmacology. So when I interact with the students, the first year students itself, like after a couple of months, when we ask them, like, what really did you learn about stress management? The answer is most of the times on the negative aspect. They don't really remember what was told to them or how to manage things like that. So if we can have a screening a few weeks after they join the MBBS, maybe using something like a patient health questionnaire or that anxiety disorder questionnaire, something like that, because I feel that depression and anxiety are the two most common conditions in UG students as such. So maybe something like that we can use to screen. That will also help us to pick up students who have these suicidal tendencies. Like, this is my knowledge. I don't know if any other better screening questionnaires are there. I'm not very aware
Madam,
of.
I'm Jaffrin again. To add to whatever you have told, I had done a study on the mental health status of students from first year to internship and found 30% of students had some mental health issues. So 1 in 3rd, something or the other.
Yes, it is
So
very common.
it is a high number.
Yes. So that is what, sir. Wouldn't it be better if we have a screening done for all students immediately after they join the MBBS, so that we know what is their baseline, and maybe a few months down.
That is exactly
maybe
what
6
I am
months down
also
or 1
feeling.
year
Madam.
down, maybe we
It
can
has to be
screen
done.
them again.
Yeah.
Can I just add a point here?
Yes, sir.
To continue with what the participants are discussing, I thought it would be good if our psychologists and the counselors can also highlight what is done here, because it's connected to what the participants are saying now.
They are not audible, sir.
Hello? Am I audible?
So your voice is somewhat blurred. It's crumbling, sir.
Not clear.
Yeah, now clear, sir.
Now clear, sir.
No, in continuation to what the participants were talking about now, some kind of a screening that should happen right at the beginning. I thought Ms. Monica also can put in a word now and summarize what happens here as soon as the students join. If
Yes.
Monica is there.
Yes, there is.
We can do it with the help of our VP Padmavati madam also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She's here.
Yes, Monica, you can start, and then we'll ask madam also to say a few words.
Yes, sir. So initially, we used to have a brainstorming session regarding mental health, like how important the mental health is, and then we'll have a few scales like mental well-being scale and the resilience scale. The general well-being is like the present state, how the students are, and the resilience are the coping mechanisms, that how do you bounce back to the normal situation when you face a stressful situation. Like these two scales we used to analyze the students, and then we'll identify the students who are in need of psychological support through these scales with the norms, and then we'll start the intervention, like who needs medicines, we'll ask them for psychiatry, we ask them to come to the psychiatry department, and who needs counseling, we'll ask the student counselors to give counseling. That is how we do in our so thank you, sir. So this is how we'll be doing. So initially, these are the steps we are following for early intervention for the students when they join initially. In the first few weeks, like in the first 10 days, we'll assess them, and then we'll identify the students, and we'll start the counseling based on the results that we get.
So probably we can have a discussion about this in other sessions also, sir. So we can maybe at the end of the sessions we can suggest the participants what we are doing in our institute.
Yes,
so that could help the participants here.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, sir. So since every session, so like the participants asking the queries about the how to conduct such sessions. So maybe at the end of the sessions we can have a brief about this sessions, what we are doing here.
About our experience.
Our
here.
experiences. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Bimal.
Yes, sir.
Actually, along with the things what we are doing it, if
Yes.
you project basically what is the outcome of it, means I know like it is too early to say the outcome at the end of what you can say 1 or 2. Although we are trying to strengthen each year, we are trying to strengthen it, and every year we are trying to introduce some new things. If possible, we can think of the outcome and projecting outcome. Yeah, that is what is finally what is the okay, our system is there. Based on that, at least we can see, we can compare the people getting detected with the psychological problem and the support, and those follow-up of those students for a longer term and all these things. I think we need to work it out and we can follow it up.
Yes, sir. And we are doing this since 2016 in our institute. So we have been following up the students regularly, and if they develop any psychological issues in the meanwhile when during the exams or what, so we as an institution, as a management, we are providing a lot of support in their stressful period actually.
So how frequently do you follow them up, sir? Like once in 3 months or 6 months?
So we are doing here as a so in the initial phase, at the time of first year itself, we are doing the screening process. We have their their records, and when we classify them, if they require the help, either a psychological support or a student counselor support is enough, or if they require any intervention, then we'll ask them to, the psychiatrist will follow them. So with them, we'll use to discuss with the family members also, and then we'll follow up the students here on a regular basis.
Okay, so that is
on their conditions, we used to frequently follow up them. If they are maintaining well, then probably every month, monthly once or 3 months once, we used to have a regular follow-up here.
Okay, so that is at entry level, we are screening them, and those who need any counseling, they are sent for counseling. When we follow up with the normal regular students.
Yes, ma'am. For the regular students, if they have issues, then we'll first they will take up to the student counselors here. So the student counselors will be in the college block. See, they don't be available in the hospital block. So the students have easy approach to go to the student counselors here. So where
So
they
what
seek
I'm
any.
trying to understand is, you are doing a screening at entry level. So are we repeating the same screening scale after 3 months, 6 months, something
No,
like that
ma'am.
on all
Depends
students?
on their depends on their conditions. So we may that is for the just screening purpose alone. If we find any issues there, then we'll go with according to their conditions.
Okay.
The screening purpose is to just identify, is there any vulnerability is there?
So
If
what
they
if
have
over
any
the
psychological
course,
issues?
what over the course, if someone gets into anxiety or gets into depression, how do we pick them up? Because what I feel is, many of the students don't come forward. Even if they're going through depression or anxiety, they don't really come forward. So maybe at screening, the initial screening, maybe they were all fine, and maybe the stress of the course has become too much for them. And 8 months down the lane, what if they go into depression? How do we pick that up?
No, probably.
Wouldn't it be better if
Yes,
we
sir.
do a screening maybe at regular intervals, or maybe once every 4 months or 6 months or something like that?
Dr. Vimal, can I just add a point? Dr. Leena, am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, madam, as Dr. Vimal said, I think we can probably have an exclusive discussion in one of the forthcoming sessions about how we've implemented. See, because let me be very honest, we have developed an algorithm, but we have not been able to implement the algorithm completely. That algorithm actually takes into account follow-up also. But the follow-up also involves our student counselors. There are many people involved, the admin, Department of Psychiatry, our psychologists, the counselors. But we find that though we have developed an algorithm, we have run into several roadblocks. One important issue being that we still don't have a robust electronic database method to track what is happening with regard to the well-being of each student. In fact, I was going to discuss that in one of the forthcoming sessions. See, like our experiences and problems with our experience. We have had problems, many problems, even now we do. And the biggest problem that I have personally identified is that we don't have a proper electronic method for tracking the well-being of students. Once you have some software, either developed by the institution or commercially available, where each student can be tracked over a period of 5.5 years. This is how the well-being was to start with. And how frequently are we checking? Is it once in 3 months? Is it once in 6 months? And if something is picked up, what is the strategy that we follow? Does the student go to the counselor, or does the student meet the dean or VP, or does the student come to Department of Psychiatry? We have made a flow chart. So in one of the forthcoming sessions, we can request our own counselors and psychologists to project that flow chart. We'll project that flow chart.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
I
we-
think that
and
would be
we'll-
helpful.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we will openly confess to you also what parts of the flow chart have been going well and
Yes,
what
sir.
parts of the flow chart we have not been able to do properly. So
Okay,
then, we can all have a brainstorming. How to implement such an algorithm properly? How can IT help us? Because in a something that is so ambitious and on such a large scale, it is impossible to do it with pen and paper. You definitely need IT support. You need a convenient tracking application. Okay, wherein all the stakeholders are involved, including maybe even the parents also.
Yes, sir.
So we
Yes.
can discuss that in detail in another session.
Sir, we
Sure,
are
sir.
running out
Sure,
of
sir.
time now, sir.
Yeah.
No problem.
Bimal, just 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Along with what Dr. Sivaprakash has confessed, again, I also along with him want to confess one thing, that even if we have a screening questionnaires and some EA, but again, as you know, like this is not foolproof. Like it's not that 100% people those who are having psychiatric problem will be detected and can be taken care of. We have seen that what you can say, like people many times, as you know, they don't, even if they have the problem, they don't disclose. And sometimes, suppose they are intelligent, they will not reflect it in your questionnaire also. Like, so what at least what we can tell them, like, okay, what Dr. Lina was asking, that some people we diagnose them as a normal, but of late we don't follow them, like in that one. What we can do at present is that what we can say, awareness among the students. That is what regular awareness among the students. Okay, anytime any types of stress, suppose you are feeling, yes, we are, whom you need to approach, at least that initial baby step suppose you will take. I think at present situation, that is going to help until we have our own process to develop and to follow up of the students. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, participants, for joining this session. So sorry for the audio issues here. So we'll try to rectify from the next sessions. So we'll close the session now. Your queries can be posted in the WhatsApp chat. So we'll try to reply back in the WhatsApp group. So thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Biman. Thank you, Karthik, and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Karthik, sir, and Ms. Monica for the sessions. Thank you, sir.